Kites in Georgia. I had a recent experience that leads me to believe that God is real. Are you going to talk about like MK Ultra and like, do I have to like go like auditing like certain celebrities have to do to take these fake aliens off me and get e-readers for like Scientology, or are we going to have a normal conversation?
J Mike, I think you're a little bit salty from the last call.
Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little salty. Let me give Kites the fair stretch here. So, how you doing? You wanted to talk about a recent experience that leads you to believe God is real. You want to tell us what that experience was?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, just go ahead with what you wanted to call in about.
Okay, so recently I had learned that one of my childhood friends had passed, right? And one of the last things he gave me was this Ankh chain, right? Key to life thing, right? And he passed in August, right? So basically the way I found out was through his cousin about a few months later. So after his cousin had told me, I went back into my notes and my dream journals and whatnot, and it was so strange. Like I went back to my notes and I saw that he had. I'm sorry, I'm just overthrown with like emotion right now. But basically, I had this. In my dream, I had this. I sound so stupid right now. I had this dream that I was in like this white GT, right? And I go on his TikTok page, right? And his profile picture is him in this white GT. And he died in a car crash, right? He wasn't a saint. He was going like 200 on the freeway, speeding away from the cops, and he had passed. But he was a good guy, and he was a good brother to me, right? Even just him giving me that piece of jewelry that he gave me. And that's not the only weird thing. It's also that I took a picture of the Ankh chain the same week he had died. Also I had the dream the same week he had died too. So I took the picture of the Ankh, right? And I was just reminiscing on the fact that he had gave it to me, and I just find it so strange that I had the dream of me in that GT, in that white GT, and his profile picture on his social media accounts is him in a white GT. And like, I don't use social media like that. He wasn't, like I said, he wasn't a saint or anything.
So let me just recap real quick, because let me recap. Yeah. A friend gave you an Ankh. A few weeks later, he died. On the day he died, you wrote in your dream journal that you had a dream of yourself in a white GT and him in a white GT. And it was only a few weeks later that you realized that that was in your dream journal, and that you found out that your friend had died. Is that correct?
No. In the same week, I had the dream that he had passed. No, I didn't have the dream that he had passed. I had the dream that I was in a white GT, like fighting off demons and whatnot, right? I just wrote it down in my dream journal, and I also took a picture of the Ankh that he had gave me, and I just wrote it in my notes, just thinking about him and whatnot, right? Just reminiscing. And then a few months later, I had learned that he had passed, and I just found it so weird that, that those two incidents happened, and I didn't even know that he had passed.
What's weird about them? You had a friend. You probably picked up his Ankh and started thinking about him. You reminisced about him. It's coincidental that it was on the same day he died. What's causal about this? What makes you think there's anything supernatural?
I just believe that the universe, in a way, was trying to tell me that I needed to talk to him in a way. And this isn't the first time that something strange has happened to me like this. This is just the first time I've...
You know that most people, when they have a friend who dies and they find out after the death, often feel like they should have talked to that person more? That's not unusual?
Just to have that dream, that don't you think it's a little bit strange, though?
No. People have dreams. And you want to put meaning into it, that's fine. But there's no reason to. You have a dream.
Maybe so, but I just can't shake the feeling.
You haven't connected the events in any way that makes any sense, right? You just taken several events out of your life. You're sad about your friend dying and not being in contact with him as much as you might have liked and feeling guilt over it. And then you're assigning some supernatural thing to it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well,
I'm not sure. I said I'm not. Yeah, I'm with Jim. I'm not really. I mean, I apologize for any of this experience. I mean, it sounds like anything that would be traumatizing for a lot of for myself or Jim or anybody. But I have a hard time like understanding the chain of reasoning that gets you to God existing. One thing like. I'm not really seeing how they connect, but if I tried to piece that together, I don't see like the incompatibility of God not existing and there being, this is not something I believe, but I just don't think it follows to the conclusion that God exists, even with that data, even if you had there were these signs and it's from another realm or something. I mean, there are plenty of like atheists that think that there are like souls and spirits and stuff. I'm not one of those people, but it wouldn't follow to theism. To me, there's still this other really weird, strange camp of atheism. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons atheism camp that it could follow to, right? So I don't really understand the chain of reasoning, and I don't understand even if I tried to compact it as best as I can, how it would follow to theism.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a theist. It's just when I signed up for the call and whatnot, I was only given two options, atheist or theist. So I just picked theist. Personally, I believe that this world is a lot more complex than we give it credit for. And I believe things are a lot more connected in ways that we can't really explain. I don't think it's possible to scientifically prove God, but I know that if you just give it a little bit more time, he might come back in a way. I just feel like
You think God would come back? That would indicate that you believe in the Christian God and that Jesus Christ was one and he died and rose again, right? That would make you a theist, right?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I believe Jesus was real. I can't say for sure if he really performed miracles like a lot of people believe he does. Believe he did, but I don't really care if he didn't turn water into wine. Jesus has helped so many people worldwide. He's helped people before I was born, and he'll continue to help billions of people after I'm dead.
How?
In a way.
How?
I believe that it's important for people to believe in Jesus Christ.
So, to answer the question, how has he helped millions of people around the world?
He's helped them. I mean, say if you're a child and you're abused and whatnot, and the only thing that you have is this community of individuals that are promoting positivity. And if you don't have that, what else? Like, how else would you want?
What good is positivity when you're starving?
I mean,
what good is positivity when you're starving? Wouldn't food be better? I mean, if your God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent, then why are there starving kids?
Well, if they believe in heaven and whatnot, right? That is, I've heard this argument so much, but if God is real.
But you haven't answered it. If you've heard it so much, by the time I've heard an argument for 3 times, I usually have a counter argument or reasons why the argument doesn't make it. So what's wrong with this? If your God is omnibenevolent, omnipotent, and omniscient, why are there starving children?
I never said that was my God, and I'll be honest. I'm not the best. I'm not as a good debater as you are, right?
Then describe your God.
If you just listen to my reasoning and whatnot, I think you would come to understand my stance. Right?
I haven't seen any reasoning from you yet. So let's start with your definition of God. How do you define God? You said he's not the omni-God. So what kind of God is he?
Well, I'm not sure if God is he, a she, a it, or whatever it may be, but I believe that it exists and it can.
Based on what?
I'll just say he in a way that, because it's a simple pronoun, right? Just say he. So I believe that he can intersect in our world. I believe that he is here and he is part of each and every one of us. Whether
he can't intersect with the world, but he is here. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with Jay, Mike. I don't know what that means, but how is he part of all of this?
How is he a part of all of us? Well, don't you think it's just so amazing that we're even able to conversate right now? The fact that they're,
So you're amazed. Let me make sure I'm not misquoting you here. You're amazed we're having a conversation, therefore God.
Not necessarily, okay. I don't want you to just like.
You just said that.
What?
How did I misquote you?
You're saying the ability to have these conversations is like miraculous. It's crazy. It's insane, right? But yeah, I mean, we think a lot of scientific discoveries or what have you are amazing and wonderful and blows the mind. But I don't know that I've ever gotten like, oh, there needs to be more. Like, I don't see how that follows.
I mean, in my mind, like the universe is almost like an infant compared to its total lifespan, or at least what we believe its total lifespan would be, right? And the fact that we even have this sliver of just understanding speaks volumes to me, right? And I believe we shouldn't.
So, because you don't understand how we can understand things, therefore God?
Can you say that again, please?
Because you don't understand how we understand things, therefore God.
Because I don't understand how we understand things. Not necessarily.
You don't understand things, so therefore God.
Well, it's a lot of things we as a collective don't understand about this world. And
yeah. That would just be an argument from ignorance, or incredulity, if you just are like, I can't imagine it being like naturalism being true. So God, right? The types of reasoning that you're engaging with is fallacious.
In my eyes, I feel like we as individuals, like we have comparatively like the power of God in our hands right now. Compared to all the
I cannot cause
the kings
every starving child in the world to have food. I don't have that power. How am I a God?
Well, if Christians do believe in heaven, then maybe God is saving those children by. Yeah, I know it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not going to answer the question. Here's the bottom line: if I had the power to feed every starving child in the world at the snap of my fingers, I would be an immoral monster not to do that. Right?
Well, in a way, yes, you would be immoral.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Do you think your God has the power to do that? Do you think your God has the power to feed every saving child at the snap of his fingers?
I believe so, but maybe there are consequences.
Then he's an immoral monster, right? You disagreed to that. You disagreed. I would be. Why isn't your God an immoral monster?
But in the same way, though, don't you? If we were able to truly just pray and wish for everything that we ever wanted, and God would give it to us, or even just
yeah, but that's not even dealing with the scenario I set up. I'm specifically talking about feeding starving children.
Yeah, and like even if you went to that route and you said it's because all your, I harp on this so much. When people want the alternative, they're like, yeah, but look, it's better that we have these trials and tribulations so that we have this good. You're thanking the grenade thrower in order for you to have a hero that jumps on top of it. Like, but we wouldn't have heroes if there weren't people that threw the grenade, right? That's what you're thanking. And so the alternative there, if that's what you want, like, I mean, your alternative is like snap your fingers and everybody's fed, or no, the starving babies learn lessons. So that's a better world where they actually starve because, some people learn lessons. billions die, but some people learn a very valuable lesson, like it's the end of a sitcom or something. So
I definitely do.
Yeah, and I'll make things worse for you, for your God too. He did it for the Israelites wandering through the desert, right? He fed the manna. He was able to do it at one point. Now he can't.
You think there's a reason why he isn't doing that now? Because of what happened to those people?
What happened to them? They're the Israelites. They're his people. They're his chosen people. He started doing it and he stopped doing it. And again, we've already agreed that if you have the ability to feed starving children at the snap of your fingers and you don't do it, you're an immoral monster. So you can't get around this little fact, right?
For us to do it though. But he's given us the ability to do it. We're feeding starving children right now. We're becoming more.
Kites. If I could let's focus on me. If I could snap my fingers right now and end all the hunger in the world, if I could do that, and I came up to you and said I could do it, I could totally do it, but I'm not gonna. Would you think that I'm a moral monster or an immoral monster?
So 1,000 years is just a second for him. Right?
Bro, I'm just asking you a simple question. Would I be an immoral monster?
Right now, I believe that the world is going to become much better.
Kites. I'm not asking about the rest of the world. Kites. I feel like you're desperately not wanting to answer this. Would you call me an immoral monster if I said I could?
Yes, it would make him in a way immoral.
Okay, great.
In the same
awesome.
Way heaven exists.
Great, but then how are we not getting a contradiction if you think God is all good? Right? Like I'm not understanding like your train of reasoning here.
I don't believe in a truly good or evil God. I don't believe in absolute terms. I believe that that the greatness of mankind it relies in the silver lining of it all. And right now we're in that silver lining as we're talking right now. Both me and you, I'm sure we both done good things on this earth, right? And we are striving for that utopia right now. Right.
Okay, that's fine. Then shave off all the extra commitments. If we're both looking at the world and we're doing good stuff and we're helping the world, what is this extra like foreign metaphysical baggage? Why are we adding all of this extra like work on top of it? Like you're paying really high philosophical costs and then telling me like, but look, we have this utility and we go out in the world and we help people. Okay, well, I just shave all that other stuff you're talking about off and I still get the same thing done. It's not adding any explanatory power. It's like an idle wheel. It doesn't do anything. Right? Like, why don't we add like 20 more God concepts on top of the one you have and then add like more spirit realms? It seems like I don't want to say irrational, but it seems like paying the cost for these additional things in your theory just end up having no explanatory like scope or breadth and depth. They're just kind of additional purchases, right? It's like you're buying something and then never using it. So if we're in agreement there, then why? I don't understand. Then help me get on board with this extra stuff. I just don't understand it.
So what do you have to say to my previous point about, what if heaven exists and those children are
all right, Kites, I'm sorry, but I gotta drop you. If you can't answer just like questions, it's not gonna be productive. It
will be productive if you're not answering my question though.
This is no hard feelings to you, Kites. I'm gonna move on to other callers. It seems like we're just jumping in 12 different spaces and it's really hard to like keep track of the point. So